Hello everyone and welcome to Fantasy Recaps Family. Today we're going to see an American superhero film from 2022 titled Samaritan. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take care. 50 years ago, there were twin brothers in a town. They are incredibly strong and bulletproof. They unintentionally hurt many people. One night while they were sleeping with their parents, some people living near them locked their home and set it on fire. The parents were burnt alive, but the twins escaped. The older brother, Samaritan, understands their mistakes and sacrificed his life to protect the city. But the younger brother, Nemesis, consumed by revenge, killed all the people who killed his parents. He wants to control the world. Samaritan tried to control his brother Nemesis. Nemesis created a powerful hammer. It is the only thing in the world that could kill Samaritan and Nemesis. One day, Nemesis created a blast in a power plant and attacked many innocent people to lure Samaritan into his trap. Samaritan came there to try to save the people. A battle began between the twin brothers. At that time, the power plant exploded into a huge blast, and both of them died. At present day, a 13-year-old boy named Sam is living in a tiny apartment with his mother, Tiffany. Tiffany is working for low wages. Tiffany asks him to throw the trash out and goes to work. Sam is a big fan of Samaritan. He draws many pictures of Samaritan and believes he is alive. He goes to go outside and sees that it's raining. There he sees the symbol of Nemesis in the trash bin. Sam drew the symbol of Samaritan over Nemesis's symbol using spray paint. Suddenly, Joe Smith, an old man living in the nearby apartment, came there and dumped his trash in the bin. Sam hides behind the trash bin. After dumping the trash, Joe takes a mini fan from the bin and goes to his house. Joe is a single man living alone in his apartment. He is working in the garbage cleaning department. He also repairs the old electronics found in the garbage and sells it at the pawn shop. The next day, Sam comes to his apartment after school, but it is locked by the owner since Tiffany didn't pay their rent. Sam worries about it and goes to the park. Joe is returning from his work through that way with an old radio. Sam calls out to him and asks whether the radio works. Joe says it's dead. Sam asks why he has a broken radio. Joe sees his wristwatch and asks why he has a broken watch and goes home. Sam's friend comes there and asks Sam to come with him if he wants to earn some money. Sam goes with him to an old house to steal a bunch of copper coils and sell them for $40. At this time, a gangster named Cyrus and his girlfriend Syl came there. Cyrus is a fan of Nemesis and also has a bunch of thieves and robbers under his control. Riza, one of his robbers, asks Jace to help him to rob a store in the coast area. Jace didn't agree to it. Sam agrees to do it and goes with them. Riza asks Sam to distract the store owner. Sam pours sauce in his forehead and acts like he got hurt. While the owner comes to see him, Riza and his friends steals some boxes and runs away. They reach the scrapyard and open the boxes, but it's just full of chips. They have stolen the wrong box. To escape from Cyrus, Riza blames Sam, saying he took the wrong box. Sam says he did exactly what they told him to do. Riza gets angry and pushes Sam down. Cyrus came there and asks Sam how old he is. Sam says 13. Cyrus likes him and gives him $200 and scolds Riza. Syl tells Sam that Cyrus likes him. Sam goes to his apartment. Tiffany is asking the owner to open her house, saying she'll give him the rent in 5 days. Sam gives the money to his mom and asks her to give it to the owner. The owner opens the door. Tiffany asks Sam how he got the money. Sam managed to lie. The next day, while Sam is going to school, Riza and his friends see him and chase him. Sam runs as fast as he can, but Riza catches him in the end. Riza begins to beat Sam. Joe comes there and throws away Riza's friends. Riza punches Joe in his stomach, but Riza gets hurt. Joe didn't care about him and kicked all his friends away. Riza tries to stab him with a knife, but Joe crushes the knife in his bare hands. Riza runs away. Joe leaves the place without saying anything. Seeing his strength and durability, Sam realizes he is Samaritan. After he went home, he uses his binoculars to see Joe's apartment. He sees the burn mark all over his back and confirms he is Samaritan. Cyrus, Syl, and his gang goes to the police evidence locker in police uniform. The guard asks them to show their IDs. Cyrus kills him with a grenade and his gang opened the safe locker. Cyrus finds the helmet of Nemesis and Samaritan, and the hammer of Nemesis. He takes the hammer and breaks the door. He can feel the power of the hammer. Sam follows Joe and observes his every action. Joe asks him to stop following. Sam goes inside Joe's house through a window and finds a scrapbook with lots of Samaritan's newspaper cuttings. Sam takes the book to his house. Joe finds the book is missing and went to Sam's house and tells Tiffany what happened. Tiffany asks Sam to return his book. Sam gives it back and says he's a big fan. Next day, Sam meets Joe and asks whether he is Samaritan. Joe says he is just a fan like him and walks into the road. Suddenly, Riza and his friends came there and hit Joe with their car. Joe's bones broke and he fell on the road. He seems to be dead. Sam goes near him and he cries. Suddenly, Joe opens his eyes and instantly his body heals itself and he wakes up. Sam shouts, saying he already knows he's Samaritan. Joe is very weak and says he needs water. Joe went to his home and takes a freezing cold shower and eats some ice cream. Sam questions why he's eating ice cream now. Joe says when he gets hurt, his body overheats and if he doesn't cool it down, his heart will explode. Sam asks whether it's the reason for Nemesis's death. Joe asks him to stop talking about Nemesis. In the middle of the city, Cyrus wears Nemesis's masks and takes his hammer. He asks all the gangsters and thieves to start a revolution, to steal things from wealthy people. All the people think Nemesis is back and the crimes are increasing at a high rate. Next day, Sam sees Joe and asks about his daily routine. Joe says he was stronger before, but now he is a little bit weak because of aging. Joe asks Sam to give him his broken watch and tells him he'll try and fix it. Sam thanked him and went home. On the other side, Cyrus and his gang are committing many crimes in the city. He's calling himself Nemesis and doing a lot of crimes. All of the media is covering this, and Joe gets angry after hearing the name Nemesis again and again. Sam asks Joe to teach him to fight. Joe agrees. Sam tries it on him and gets hurt. Joe gives him some ice. Sam asks him about Nemesis again. Joe gets angry and asks him to leave his house. While going, Cyrus picks up Sam. Sam goes with him and sees him killing a cop. Sam gets scared and runs away. While running, he sees Riza beating Jace. Sam beats Riza and lets him escape. Riza breaks Sam's wrist and leaves him near his apartment. Joe and Riza saw each other. Joe admitted Sam to the hospital. Riza tells his friend that the old man who they hit by their car is still alive. Cyrus sees the damaged car and asks his team to bring him. They follow Joe in a lane and begin to fight with him. Joe beats all of them badly and throws them in the air. They shoot at him, but he was not harmed. Joe beats all of them. A little girl sees all of this and asks Joe how he did that. All of the people start to gather around and record Joe. Suddenly they throw a grenade near Joe. Joe takes the girl, jumps from there and flips a car using it as a shield to escape from the grenade. The grenade blasts, but Joe saves the girl. All of the media broadcast this video, saying Samaritan is back. Joe decides to leave the town. Cyrus sees the video and goes to Joe's house with his gang to catch him. Joe had already left the place. Cyrus destroys the room and sees Sam through Joe's window. Riza says Joe and Sam are friends. Cyrus asks them to catch Sam. Sam tries to escape with his mom, but Cyrus catches them. Sam says Samaritan will come to save him. Syl hits Tiffany hard and Cyrus kidnaps Sam. On the other side, Joe is waiting for the train. Suddenly, he sees Sam's watch in his bag and comes to Sam's house to return the watch. Tiffany is crying in the kitchen. She says that Cyrus took Sam. Joe gets angry. loads many oil barrels in a truck and goes to Cyrus's place. Cyrus is planning to destroy the power plant so that the whole city will black out and all his gang members will steal at the same time. Joe arrives there. The guards tried to stop the truck. Joe hits all of them and crashes the truck inside the building. Sam sees this and tells Cyrus that he is going to fail like Nemesis. All of the gangsters in there began to shoot Joe from all directions. Joe beats many of them. Cyrus comes there and says that he's going to end what Nemesis started. Joe asks Cyrus to let Sam go. Cyrus says no and beats Joe with the hammer. Joe falls down. Cyrus beats him again and again. Joe tries to wake up. Cyrus said, "Good guys will always fall," and tried to beat Joe again with the hammer. Joe blocks the hammer and said he's not the good guy. He's the fucking bad guy here. Cyrus and Sam are shocked. It seems Samaritan is the one who died in the crash. Nemesis escaped the blast and was living as Joe. Joe says, "I'm the bad guy," and takes the hammer. His attitude shows us how evil he is. Suddenly, the oil barrels in the truck explode and many of the gangsters died, including Syl. Joe kills them one by one without mercy. Many of them surround him at a time. Joe breaks the pillars near him and makes the ceiling fall down. All of them are crushed, but Joe survived the crash and runs towards Cyrus. Cyrus handcuffs Sam to a broken pipe and orders his gangsters in the city to wipe the city dark. The whole city goes blackout and all the gangsters start to kill people, burn places, and rob the banks. Cyrus wears Nemesis's mask and roars like an animal. The whole building is on fire. Sam is shouting for help. Joe is tired. He sees Sam and goes to release him. Cyrus comes backside and takes the hammer. He begins to fight him. Suddenly, Joe's heart begins to beat fast because of his high temperature. Cyrus beats him and tries to make him fall down from the burning building. Sam tries hard and breaks the pipe and hits Cyrus from the back. Joe climbs up and grabs the hammer, wrapping it around Cyrus. Cyrus can't move. Joe lifts Cyrus over his head and throws him from the building, and remembers how he let Samaritan die in the same way 50 years ago. Suddenly, Joe's heart begins to beat fast and he fell down. Sam broke a tap near him and let the water cool Joe. The building begins to fall down. Joe takes Sam in his hands and starts to run. He crashed the wall and jumps from the building to the nearby building and saves Sam. Sam asks whether he is really Nemesis. Joe says yes. Sam says he can fix it and be a good guy. Sam went out. Many reporters came there and asked Sam what happened. Sam says Samaritan saved him and says Samaritan lives. Joe smiles at Sam and begins to walk under a bridge, and the movie ends here. Much thanks for watching, guys. If you liked this video, please consider subscribing to our channel. I'll see you in the next one. Till then, take care.